To show ownership. Mr. Maverick. Better road than the Hilton Palacio del Rio. He was taken captive there in December of 1835 at his home. And he was taken by his captors, which happened to be a group of Mexicans. Take elbows, arms, legs, and any other thing here inside the bus. Wait till we come to a complete stop as we're going through the Tour Plaza in 1859. That makes it the oldest continuously operated hotel west of the Mississippi River. In the Mingler Bar is where Teddy Roosevelt recruited most of his Rough Riders. And for that reason, right over here on the south wall of the Alamo, you'll be able to get a glimpse of Teddy Roosevelt's statue sitting on his horse right there across the street from the outside entrance. The Alamo is coming up. They're building us a nice and needed welcoming center here at the Alamo. And then they're going to redo our plaza here around the Alamo. And they're very well underway doing all that building. The Alamo is open, of course, for your viewing. It's the most visited place in the state of Texas. You walk around the blue fence here, and down there on the other end of the fence, you see a red booth where you can get your free time-stamp ticket to go through that area and see the Alamo. Famous, of course, for the battle in 1836. Alamo is much older than that. It was our first major battle of Texas liberty from Mexico. But to begin with, it was, we got some people going to join us right here around the corner. Hello, come on in. Yes, I recognize you from Texas. Go ahead and have a seat. The Alamo is much older than the battle in 1836. I'll go slow here in this block, give you time to get upstairs. It was our first of 5 Spanish missions established here in 1718. It was Mission San Antonio de Valero. Now, the Spanish missions were only supposed to last about 10 years. However, they were so popular with the people didn't want to move out, and they continued using them as missions for 75 years. Finally, in 1793, the Alamo was vacated, and that's when the Spanish soldiers that were here moved in. Come here, sir. All right. Here we go. I'm Captain Trey. I'll be your driver and your guide for the next hour returning here to Alamo Plaza. It's a beautiful day in San Antonio. We've had a couple of 3 days of rain and cool temperatures, but today is beautiful. We're glad you came out to see us. Now the Mexican soldiers that were here, there was only about 7 of them at any one time. They were here to represent the Mexican government and Spanish government at the time. They moved into the Alamo when it was vacated in 1793, and they had a wonderful area to occupy. It was a good place. They had individual sleeping quarters. They had plenty of room to store their horses, all their provisions, their clothes, their food. Everything was kept there in the Alamo, except their commanding officer, which was General Coss. General Coss now, especially up top, you can look out ahead of the bus there in the next block over, and you'll see the Hilton Palacio del Rio. That big hotel at the far end of it is a little area known as La Villita. And you're able to go into the La Villita area and see the little artisan shop. And that's where General Coss's home was. You'll see a plaque on the home that he occupied. That is the Riverwalk down there in full swing. There is a little bit better look at the Hilton Palacio del Rio. He was taken captive there in December of 1835 at his home. And he was taken by his captors, which happened to be a group of Texicans that were trying to promote the oncoming Republic of Texas. He was taken by them on over to the Alamo, where they rounded up his soldiers. Hello, folks. They rounded up his soldiers and told them all that their services were no longer needed or wanted here, representing the Mexican government, because this was going to become the Republic of Texas. They need to go back across the Rio Grande River, which is the border, and do not return. So they left and went home. Now, what was causing the problem between the people living here and the Mexican government? Well, it started back when Christopher Columbus came across the Atlantic Ocean on Spanish ships, furnished them by Queen Isabella. He came and landed just off the coast of Florida in the West Indies Islands, and stepped off the ship and planted the Spanish flag and claimed the New World for Spain. He claimed from Florida all along the southern border of the United States now, from Florida all the way to California, became Spanish territory. And we know Texas is right in the middle of that. Collage. Take one anyway. Now Spain, for the next 310 plus years, started trying to get that area occupied with good Spanish citizens that were loyal to the throne of Spain. And to get people to come over here, they, number one, offered them a free large tract of land that would be big enough for them to actually put to good use and make a living on. They would give them clear title to that land, and to make it a little more enticing, they promised them they would never have to pay taxes on that land. So free land and no taxes, what a deal. And you got to come across over here in the New World and start a new life, start over, and enjoy living here in the New World. Well, that attracted many people, and they came. Now, in 1821, Mexico announced its independence from Spain. Things didn't really change that much in 1821, except not only did they announce their independence from Spain, but they also told Spain that they were going to take over this section of the land that happened to be what now is Texas, and made it northern Mexico. So you have this whole area being northern Mexico, Spanish territory to the east, all the way to Florida, and to the west, all the way to California, with Mexico right in the middle. 12 years after becoming independent, they elected Santa Anna as the president of Mexico. And he came up with a very unpopular idea. He wanted to change the deal and charge the people living here in northern Mexico taxes. You knew it had to end sometime, right? Well, sure enough. He told the people they were going to have to pay taxes to Mexico. And of course they immediately objected, saying, no, we got our land titled and titled to the land, deeds in our family names, and some of us have been here for centuries. And you're going to come in here and tell us we have to pay taxes to Mexico now? We were promised no taxes when we collected on this land by the Spanish government when they gave us those titles. Santa Anna said he did not question whether or not they had title and deeds to the land. He was recognizing those deeds. However, this was now northern Mexico, and if they wanted to stay here, they would have to pay taxes, or they could always move out. They didn't like that at all. They didn't like not paying taxes, and they didn't like especially the idea of being removed and made to leave and go somewhere else. So, that was the problem. The people living here in northern Mexico started talking to each other because they knew their neighbors, even though they might not live nearby. They started deciding, well, hey, why don't we do the same thing Mexico did and declare ourselves independent from Mexico? That's how Mexico got this property in the first place. Well, the problem with that is that Mexico wasn't across the Atlantic Ocean and was directly opposed to them becoming independent. They had just gotten this land a short 12 years before, and they didn't want to give it up. So they were opposed to them becoming independent and making themselves a separate country. And they were willing to fight about it too. They told them absolutely not. Well, the people living here wanted to go ahead and become independent, so they sent Colonel William Baird Travis here to San Antonio to be their eyes and ears to warn them of any incoming troops coming up through this way from Mexico. He saw the Alamo and moved into it and started making it into a fort with a few cannons that he brought with him and his men. And then started collecting supplies, everything they would need. They were going to make the Alamo into a fort and take a stand there against any incoming Mexican army. While he was doing that, Jim Bowie brought some volunteers of people that lived here in northern Mexico with him and joined in with Colonel Travis. And then Davy Crockett later came in with some Tennessee volunteers that came all the way from Tennessee to help fight for the cause of freedom of Texas, giving Colonel Travis 189 men inside the walls of the Alamo to make a stand against any incoming Mexican army. They no sooner than got inside and got settled in a little bit, they looked up and here came Santa Anna all the way from Mexico City. He had 2,000 to 4,000 Mexican soldiers with him. Now they didn't expect him until late spring, early summer, and they sure didn't expect him to bring that large of an army with him. But he was here, and they could do absolutely nothing about it. He saw the cannons on the walls of the Alamo. He didn't know who was in there or how many were in there, but he knew why they were there. So he went down with his men and camped around the San Fernando Church. And sent them the defenders of the Alamo a message to come out of the Alamo and leave the territory, or he would show them no mercy and take no prisoners. They answered his demands with the firing of a cannon, which meant they weren't coming out, and if he wanted to fight, come on down. So for the next 12 days, starting on February 24th of 1836, Santa Anna laid siege to the Alamo. Every day he would run groups of his soldiers toward the walls of the Alamo, and the defenders of the Alamo would come up over the edge and kill every Mexican soldier that they could see. Day 13 came around and he wanted to end this conflict. He was losing too much time and too many men. So he told his entire army to pick up and go move around and surround the Alamo on that morning before daylight, completely surrounding the Alamo, and at the sound of the first trumpet, they were to attack from all directions at the same time. Of course, that many soldiers, cannon fires coming over their heads, that immediately put them in a position able to overpower the 189 defenders, and once inside, they put them all to death. Then the Army of Mexico marched 250 miles east of here and camped just southeast of Houston. On April 21st, the Texas Army, led by Santa Anna, came upon the camp of Santa Anna and went on the offensive. He attacked the Mexican army. The battle lasted 18 minutes, and many of the Mexican soldiers tried to desert their posts, running out through the countryside to escape. However, they were captured, and one of the captains happened to be Santa Anna himself, dressed in the uniform of a private. He was brought to San Houston and allowed to go back to Mexico in defeat and disgrace. But only after he signed paperwork allowing Texas to become free and independent. And we were a republic for almost a full 10 years. The government of Texas voted to join the United States as the 28th state of the Union in December of 1845. We're going to go ahead and prepare to turn left here because the light down there is going to change like it's changed right now. That truck's being slow going around the corner, and we will get through this intersection. Coming up over here on the banks of the San Antonio River in 1883, they established the Pearl Brewery. Now the Pearl Brewery brewed here from 1883 all the way to 2001. When they moved the brewing of Pearl beer out of San Antonio and up to Fort Worth, where it's brewed now. They've taken many of the buildings, in fact most of the buildings here at the Pearl, and made them into other things. The old brew house has been made into a 5-star hotel, and it's a wonderful, beautiful place to go in. And you're welcome to step into the lobby there and see the 5-star hotel. They have several buildings that have been made into restaurants, shops, and a few bars as well. And it's a lovely little shopping area. Now just this morning from 10 until 2, they had the farmers market here. And there may be a few farmers that didn't leave yet, but for the most part it will be closed down. They'll be back tomorrow, starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. Farmers market will return to the Pearl Brewery area and be here until 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So you have another chance to go see it and experience the farmers market. They'll have strawberries and other fruits and things that have come off out of their gardens and farms, maybe homemade soap and honey and all kinds of things of interest. It's a good thing to go to. Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now we'll be pulling up curbside there to stop number 2 and give you a chance to step off the bus and go over 1 block to the right, turn left and go right up into the middle of the complex. It's coming up down here at the next corner. If you are going to step off, just remember that this is where you get back on the bus. There'll be a bus by here about every 20 minutes to pick you up. Come back to the same stop sign. You can get back on the bus as soon as the bus arrives. About every 20 minutes, if we leave 20 minutes apart down here from Alabama. We're going to stop short out where that van is, let the cars go around the corner a little second so they can safely see what's coming around the corner. And let them go ahead. I'm going to pull up right here. If you want to go to Pearl, come on down. Go one block to our right and go right on over to the Pearl. Hold on just a minute. We have some people getting off. Anyone from up above? Yep, here they come. Got some people coming up from downstairs. Easy down the staircase. Hold your feet. Come on down. Don't forget the baby stroller back there by the back door. There they come. That's all right. Welcome to the Pearl. Bye-bye. So cute. All right, folks, come on in. Welcome aboard. We're glad you're here. Now, somebody has a ticket, I think. Do you have a ticket? Yes, you have one. You got the brochure. The little pink ticket. Yeah, there you go. Every time. Oh, no. That's it. There you go. That's it. Very good. Now, where are you going to go? Okay, it's right around the corner. That's stop number 3. Hello there. Oh, look at those pretty flowers. Wow. Well, welcome aboard. We're glad you're here. Welcome back. All right. You're welcome to sit down here or go upstairs, either one. All right, go ahead. We've still got time. Wait right here. Give them time to get up the stairs.
Church, it runs for 3 more minutes.
All right, they're on the top floor. Okay, now we'll get ready to take off. And away we go.
Yeah, I'm all right. Just I know how to have
We'll get these people to let us in. If not, I may have to just pull out there in front of them. If you let me go, you'll see who you're going to run over here. There we go. Now these buildings right here on both sides of the street were old warehouses for the Pearl. They've been converted into apartments and offices. Coming up down here along the banks of the San Antonio River, they have put in some beautification work. They hired a young local artist that his family was known for making things out of concrete that looked like wood. Starting right here on the corner is one of his pieces of art. It's a bus stop. It looks like it's been made out of an old tree stump with benches to match and a nice top on top to shade you from the sun or keep the rain off of you. However, it's solid concrete. Coming up down here, he also made this little area right here on the banks of the river. He made these 2 caves with stalactites and stalagmites, an altar, a waterfall, person praying at the altar. Over there in the back, another tree stump, and right down here, a nice staircase to go down into that area and see it up close, and even take some pictures with. Very nicely done. In 1884, the year after the founding of the Pearl, they had a second brewery come to San Antonio. It was the Lone Star Brewery. And where did they put it? Right across the river from the Pearl. We're going to see it down here around the corner, down the street. The old Lone Star Brewery. Now they brewed Lone Star here for many years, and then they moved over to the south side of town where they built a more modern plant and brewed it over there until 1996. That's when they moved the brewing of Lone Star out of San Antonio over to East Texas in the town of Longview. They brewed it over there for a few years, and then they moved the brewing of Lone Star up to Fort Worth, where they now brew Lone Star. Right there at the same brewery that makes Pearl its old arch enemy. Arch rival, we should say, not enemy. And they make several other brands of beer there at that same brewery. Now they don't just make beer and just stick different labels on it. It's made different ways with different recipes. So they make each one of those beers by its own recipe and then stick that label on it. Now they never got rid of the old property over here in 1996. They said, what are we going to do? Because this property is going to be very expensive in taxes. So they didn't want to keep it. They wanted to get They didn't want to keep the property here, and so they gave it to the Butts. We're glad you're here. Now this is the old Lone Star Brewery here that they've made into the wonderful San Antonio Museum of Art. There is another museum that's a little smaller and a little cheaper to go to down there on Commerce Street, or Market. That's the Western Art Museum. This is the San Antonio River. You might be interested in going in that. It's got a lot of beautiful Western art. Coming up down here at this next intersection, if you'll look down to your right, 2 blocks down, you'll see part of a very big, white, colonial-style home that is home to the VFW Post 76, the oldest VFW post in the state of Texas. Right down there at the end of the street. That's a beautiful old home. Coming up down here is going to be where we turn to take you within a block of that home. And you're welcome to go in there. They're open so that you see the beautiful home of the VFW Post 76. It's the oldest VFW post in the state of Texas. All right, here we go. Well, I thought so, but then this guy put his foot on the gas. I see him. I see a whole bunch of people down here. Come on. We're going to pull up here and go to stop number 5. This is the old stop 5. We don't stop here anymore, but we're going to pick these people up. We are glad to see them. Yeah, there they are. Welcome aboard. They're back from going to Augie's Barbecue. Come on in. Howdy, come on in. Here she is with a ticket in her hand. How was the barbecue? Come on in. Good. I've had Augie's before. It's good. Thank you. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome aboard. We're glad you're here. Come on in. Come right on in. Been to Augie. That's a good place to go. All right, here we go. Uh-oh, come on down. Oh, I didn't see you, but I'm glad you came down.
Yeah.
We still got to get them upstairs anyway, so we got time. Come right back here or down to that stop sign and wave us over, and we'll pick you back. All right. And away we go. That wasn't very good. I hit this sign with my mirror. I gotta move back so I can see. Hang on. There's just... going to be able to go on. Here we go. Now, if you wanted to go to the BMW Hall, you could step off right here at the corner and walk right down there, turn left, and go right into the building. And it looks like that's where those folks are going to go. Coming up is the San Antonio River, and right here on the left is a wonderful restaurant in the little Wyndham Garden Hotel. It's the Bourbon Street Seafood Kitchen. If you want some real good seafood, including some real good Cajun food, this is where you want to come to. They have an excellent Cajun food menu that they serve right here at the Bourbon Street Seafood Kitchen. You can come here for lunch or for dinner. Right here at stop number 6. And we can stop right down here just past the front door. So we won't block traffic going in and out. Hello there. Right here is our bus stop. For you to go get some real good Cajun food or seafood. Make your pick. Any takers, come on down. You'll enjoy the food there at the Bourbon Street Seafood Kitchen at the Wyndham Garden Hotel. You're welcome. We'll be by here about every 20 minutes. You're welcome. All right, here we go.
Honey, we are walking for that.
Now, if you look down to the far right, you see a big building that looks like a hospital. It's not a hospital, however. It happens to be Central Catholic High School for boys. Right here in front of the bus is Providence Catholic School for girls, grades 6 through 12. Now, they have had years of experience of making sure that the girls stay on this campus and the boys stay on that one. When they sign the kids up to go to school here, they are very plainly told, the girls will go on this campus and you will never, ever set foot on the boys' campus. And the boys are told the same thing over there, but they'll never set foot over here on this campus. This rocket scientist here was in too big a hurry, so I should have just run over him. But I didn't. Attending school here at Providence High School 1 year Back in 1951, there was a young lady attending school here. She met her friends over on the southeast side of town at the skating rink, skating around the old wooden floor, having a nice evening. Well, there was a young man there at the skating rink that night, and he was watching the people skate. He was here in the Air Force Base, the Lackland Air Force Base, and he was in there looking at the people, watching them skate. And he looked out there and saw Vivian and thought she was the most beautiful young lady he had ever seen. He was mesmerized by her beauty and just had to meet her. So he walked right up to her, looked into her big, beautiful eyes and said, "Hello, I'm Johnny Cash." And it was Johnny Cash, except nobody knew who Johnny Cash was at the time, except his family back in Arkansas. Nonetheless, they hit it off, and a little later they got married, wound up having 3 daughters, and then when he got out of the Air Force, he started touring the country, becoming a country music entertainer. Now, becoming a popular entertainer is a rough way to work because, especially if you're a young married family man, hard on you and hard on the family too, because you have to be gone a lot. To get popular, you have to be on the road. And then if you become popular, you have to be on the road even more. So it's a lot of time that you're always gone. And unfortunately, that's not too good for family life. Also, he had some problems, as many entertainers do, with drugs and alcohol. So we saw that on I Walk the Line, the movie about his life. And eventually it took its toll, and Johnny and Vivian got a divorce. This is stop number 7 for the Thompson building. Thompson Hotel is right here on our right. El Tropicana, this old hotel across the street here, is a very wonderful old hotel. Built and opened up in 1963, right here on the edge of downtown and on the Riverwalk as well. Unfortunately, they were closed down by COVID when COVID came to town, like many other businesses, but unfortunately for them, they never reopened. Now, they did try to have a reopening in the second quarter of 2021. I don't know if it was a hiring problem. I'm sure the building of the Thompson didn't help it any. They just did not get to reopen. It's still sitting there empty and closed today. Right here on the right is the Maverick home. Now, Mr. Maverick was one of our mayors of San Antonio for several terms, way back in the days of the cattle barons. He had cattle, and so did a lot of other men around the area. This was open range territory, so each cattleman had to mark their cattle or brand them or something, notch their ears, do something to let them to show ownership. Mr. Maverick never rounded up his cattle, and he never branded them or notched their ears or anything. So it became known in the area, if you had a cow, calf, or bull that didn't have any markings on it of any kind, it automatically belonged to him. Wow. That's an idea, because they're all born that way with no markings. So he probably wound up with a lot of cattle that weren't really his. Nonetheless, that's how he did it, and all the other ranchers knew that, so they made sure their cows, calves, and bulls were marked and branded. This little church right here is St. Mark's Episcopal Church. Now, in the 1850s, before the Civil War, there was a man living here in the San Antonio area by the name of Robert E. Lee. Yes, that Robert E. Lee became General Robert E. Lee of the Confederacy. He was one of the founding members of that church. Also, that little church many years later was where Lyndon and Lady Bird Johnson were married. They met in Austin. They came here, he convinced her to marry him. They had their ceremony there at St. Mark's. Then they walked across Travis Park and right into the St. Anthony Hotel for their honeymoon. Take care of those donuts. Those pink boxes walking around Smith River from Voodoo Donuts down here at the end of the street. This is stop number 9 for Travis Park, one of the oldest parks in the country. Not the oldest, but one of them. And the St. Anthony Hotel. This is stop number 9, and right down here around the corner is stop number 10. Now, it's a popular stop. It's for the Buckhorn Saloon and Museum. Also the Texas Ranger Museum. The Buckhorn Saloon is exactly what it sounds like. It's an old-style saloon that would fit in any good Western movie. It has the old long wooden bar, the mirror behind it, and a bartender that's serving up sarsaparilla with his root beer. And also, he has some real beer in there, or regular light beer. We're going to get around the corner here and stop in if the traffic allows us to. So far, we haven't made it. We're going to stop right around the corner. And this is a good place to go. Now, also inside is the Buckhorn Museum, which is a collection of birds, animals, and fish, over 520 different species. Now, that would cost money. They charge a fee over there. No one's going there with all free things. But you get 2 museums for the price of one, and they throw the Buckhorn in the saloon in with. We're going to get around this corner while we can by pushing our way out and then pulling up curbside. This is the Buckhorn over here on our left. And right down here is number 10 stop, right between this last street and this big place. Come on down to the Buckhorn. All right, come on down. We'll see you later. About every 20 minutes, the bus will come by. It may not be this bus, so watch for the one to come by here. They'll stop right here to pick you up. Come on down from upstairs. I see you coming. We got some coming down the steps. And some of them a little slower. One's got a little bitty short leg. There they go. Thank you. Enjoy the Buckhorn. Or the Voodoo Donuts. They're coming. Easy does it on the step. Don't rush. Don't want you to miss any of those that make it too hard to get. There we go. You're welcome. Bye-bye. Come on down. There's the board still coming down. This is a popular stop right here for the Buckhorn Saloon and Museum. All right. Thank you, Nellie. Come on down, folks. I think they're all leaving the top. Is there anybody else up there? Not me. Okay, folks, come on in. Yeah, they're all jumping ship. There we go. Thank you, sir. Come on in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Welcome aboard. Today, mate. There you go. Come on in. Thank you. Welcome back. All right, we're ready to go now. As soon as everybody gets the seat, going upstairs, you can do that, please. All right, here we go. Coming up here on the right is a little Mexican cafe and bakery that's been swamped with people all day. It's just almost 10 after 3, and they're just about done for the day. There's no line, you notice. Earlier this morning, the line was way back here. Coming up here on the left is the Walgreens drugstore. That's the third oldest Walgreens drugstore in the country. Notice it has the old Walgreens name. It doesn't have the apostrophe F on it. That's the new one. Walgreens. Coming up here in the next corner on the right is stop number 11. That's the Sheraton Gunner Hotel, our second oldest hotel. Now, if you started at Alamo Plaza, you had the Major number 1, the St. Anthony number 3, and now the Sheraton Gunner number 2. Right here at stop 11. You can also take the crosswalk here in front of us, go down to our left a block and a half and catch the riverboat right down there. Go across the bridge, turn down the staircase, exit right there. Last call for stop 11. In 1921, the San Antonio River had flows through the city flooded. And right here where we were sitting was up on the second floor of that hotel. That's a lot of water in the downtown area, and the river's right up here, 1.5 block away from it. It had to come from way down there below the bridge, up here, and then up into the second floor. This is the San Antonio River right here at its regular level. That's where the water had to come from, the flood the second floor up in there. Moving right along. Hello there. Hello. Hello, folks. How are you? Now, I'm going to share something with you right up here. If you haven't had lunch yet, or if you have, you can come back later. Right up here to the right, over here on the left side of the street, is a house where they cook real good Texas barbecue. It's cooked in a pit with mesquite wood. And this is Pinkerton's barbecue, and it's going to be the best in the San Antonio area. Right here on the left, inside that screened-in area is where the pits are, and they've got the mesquite wood out here in the back. You can go there and have some of the best barbecue you're going to find. We'll even let you off right here if you ask the bus drivers. Let you go in there. They stay open until 9 unless they run out of food. Before then, they'll shut up and go back the next morning. They are closed on Monday, so don't come up on Monday. You'll want to come here any day from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. I would suggest getting here no later than 7 to make sure you get a chance to get some real Texas barbecue. They'll put some meat on the barbie right there. It's good stuff. They've got brisket, they've got beef ribs, pork, chicken, turkey, all kinds of stuff in there. It is delicious. Now, we can't take you down to stop number 12, so if you're following the brochure and looking at stop 12, it is a good place to go because at stop 12 you have the Spanish Government Palace and also the San Fernando Cathedral, two historic places. But we can only get you within 3 blocks of that area. So we'll drop you off at stop 13 and point you in the right direction to get you down there so you can go see those 2 historical places. up down here at the end of the block, you're going to see a large set of buildings. That started out as Santa Rosa School of Nursing, where they taught many women and men to be nurses in the medical profession. Then it became a general hospital and served the downtown San Antonio area for many years as a general hospital. There's not a week goes by that we usually have at least one, if not several people tell us that they were born in Santa Rosa Hospital. It's now been changed into a children's hospital. Now they have a children's hospital out in our medical center, which is way out across on the northwest side of town, about 15 or 20 miles from here. But this is Children's Hospital in the downtown. You calling 905? Boy, will do. Now coming up down here, right at the light that I'm about to stop at, but the next traffic light down there where you see the cars parked, that is the light you'll use for the crosswalk to get across these 3 lanes of traffic and the 3 on the other side of the street. You'll walk 2 blocks to your left, which is, we're going to stop on the other side of the light, so you got to come back to it to the right. Well, made it a little bigger, but that would be hard to do unless you made it 2 stories. But our stores out in the neighborhood are as big as this store, is parking lot, and across the street they're really what you call a supermarket. The grocery store chain was started over 100 years ago by the man named Howard E. Butt. Yes, B-U-T-T Butt. That was his last name. That stands for that is the initials they use as the company logo, HEB. Now they tell you on their advertising slogan, here everything is better. Nonetheless, it's over 100 years old, the grocery store chain, and they have stores throughout 3/4 of the whole state of Texas. Yeah, they're building stores right now up in the Dallas-Fort Worth complex, the Metroplex there, and now they'll have stores up there too. They've already got 1 store in Plano and 1 store in Frisco, just north of Dallas. These little homes right here were built by the German immigrants who came here in the 1850s and 60s. Now, many of them have been fixed up nicely since that time and added to and built onto and refurbished. All very nice. I will notice that every one of these homes, large or small, has a front porch. Hi there. People in the neighborhood are always friendly. Now coming up down here is, you're going to see on the left, the Pioneer Flour Mill. Pioneer Flour Mill was established here on the banks of the San Antonio River by one of those German immigrants named Ginther. He built his home there, built the flour mill, and he's been making flour ever since. The Ginther home has been turned into a wonderful restaurant as well as a small museum. It's open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. That means if they're going to be open again tomorrow morning. And just maybe, since a lot of people are going to be at sunrise services, you can get in here and get in here early. But there's no guarantee of that. They're usually always busy on Sunday. All the way to the time they close, you might have a waiting line of 30 minutes 45 minutes to an hour or longer on Sunday because it's a very popular place. Now they do have a to-go line that you can go through and get things to go. The wait line is for the table. They will get to you as quick as you can. I suggest if you're going to come over here, come early. And that way you won't be here maybe in too long of a line. The food is very good. They have excellent biscuits and gravy, cinnamon rolls, pancakes, waffles, muffins, all kinds of good food for breakfast and lunch. And right here is stop number 15. They do have their own parking area. If you have a car, you can come over here and park. And then maybe go down through the neighborhood and see some of the old German homes. Anyone from stop number 15 here at the Denver House. They are closed already. These cars have been left behind. They do have the Blue Star Arts Complex, which has some shops and some restaurants and schools. That's a good place to go in. The German homes over here. The Gensler House is here. If you look over to your left, you'll see it. Right up there, that 3-story home with the green roof and green trees. Wonderful places that really good. This is one of the few streets we're allowed to drive the buses on due to a city ordinance that they asked to be put in place. Coming up down here to the left, one block up and on the left is going to be a home that's typical of many of the homes here in this neighborhood. It has been redone, remodeled, and in the last couple of years, and it is now Hotel King William. And it's very, very beautifully done. This gives you an example of what the Historic Society here in charge of the area will allow you to do, to bring the buildings back to their original condition as they were built. This is King William right here, Hotel King William on the left, and the Parents House. This little area right through here is known as Southtown. This restaurant right here is opening up for the evening meal called Upscale. You have the Japanese restaurant here to the right. Here to the left is Little Inn Oyster Bar. And here on the left also is Tito's Mexican Restaurant. Now these folks right here jumped off last time. And they're getting back on the bus. And we're so glad they rejoined us. Hello, folks. Does anybody want to jump off here? Southtown. Anyone at all? Okay. How was Southtown? Did you go to Tito's or where? No? Completed in 1968 and opened up in time right after the opening of the World's Fair. The tower is the tallest building in the skyline of San Antonio. It has a nice restaurant up there at the building on top. Go ahead.
Tuna Hamaray.
Sure.
Kung mo naman deh. Bahimu.
No rail stop for
Thank you,
the
then.
people department.
Ne.
Okay, do we have anyone that wants to go to the tower? If you do, I'll stop and let you off here. Stop 17. You do have some? Okay, we'll make a quick stop. You can step right off. You'll walk through over to the playground area and then veer off to your left. And right over to that big tall building, which is the Tower of America.
Mahindi.
They're going to let me keep on going after I make the stop there, and we'll go straight to the plaza.
Oh.
Hello. It's going to be up here in the middle of the block. Hang on just a minute. Just hold on. Hold on. You'll be there. We're just going to get you down there about mid-block so you can go right over there to the sidewalk and walk through it. It's a very nice place to go. They have a nice restaurant up there, too, called the Chart House. And the tower, hang on. In the Tower of Americans, you can see for 55 miles. And while you're having a meal there, it's a revolving restaurant. You'll get to see the whole city of San Antonio. Just get off the bus here at stop 17. Walk over towards the playground equipment there. Here off to the left, you get the sidewalk that goes all the way over to the Tower of America. Enjoy, folks. Come on down.
All right, take it to it.
That's it right down, sir.
Anyone coming from down upstairs? All right. Bye-bye now. Come right back here to catch the bus later. All right, we're going to go ahead. That was the Tower Stop and Yanaguana Garden. We're heading straight for Alamo Plaza. Now, if you want to go catch the river boats, there's just two places here nearby that you can catch the river boat ride. One is right here behind the Hilton Palacio del Rio Hotel on the other end. You mentioned La Villita, it's right here to our left. All right? Very good. Has everybody seen or tried to go by the Crockett Tavern? There you go. That is a good place to go, and you get a free appetizer with every adult entree that you purchase. And it's good food. The Crockett Tavern. It's at the Crockett Hotel just behind the Mingers. They just recently remodeled, and they asked us to give them a little heads up and let everybody know they're open for business. If you show your ticket for the tour, and show them your brochure too, so you can see that they were advertised right there. You'll get your appetizer with every entree. Here we go. Now they have everything from burgers to Mexican food to barbecue, and they have a wonderful fried chicken. Remember that one, that's a good one. We're going to get out here and hopefully get in front of the horse there. Uh-oh, it says just married. Somebody at a wedding. We're going to block the crosswalk, but we can't go any further because people are stopped. We can't get there from here, but we got as far as we could. Come on around, folks. That's it. Come on around, folks. Sorry about that. I heard somebody say something about it, but I didn't know you wanted to stop. That's okay. A lot of you can stop people jumping off right now. Thank you. Have a great day. Okay. Yeah, hold up the horse carriage there, Bubba. If you can. We're trying to get out of here, but there's nobody moving. Apparently, Crockett Street is see anybody leaving up there in front of them. Except the woman off the curb here in the horse carriage. That's when you get out of the street. Yes, apparently on Crockett up there somewhere the street is blocked. Nobody is leaving off of Alamo Street northbound. You may. You may step on that.
It doesn't matter.
Go ahead and let them have a chance to get off there trying to unload. You're welcome. Bye-bye now. Come on in, ladies.
Follow daddy, follow daddy.
We'll get you.